Okay, today we walked up, that's Lenny. How long, what was the weather like today?
It's in the morning it's a rainy day, and then in the afternoon it's a heavy rain,
And now
and
it
now
just
it's
it just cleared up a little so we can actually see. Before, when we were walking up, couldn't see anything, but now we are up here at Bushline Hut. Looking down on the lake, you can see the sun now shining on the mountains on the other side. And there's the hut. And that's the shit house. It's Lake Rotuiti, South Island. And tomorrow we walk up that ridge. That's the top of Mount Robert, and then that ridge goes back and keeps on going up and up and up until we get to Lake Angelus. See more of you there. So we left Bushline Hut about half an hour ago. It's back over that ridge. We're now on the what we call the Robert Ridge at the top of Mount Robert, and we're heading up into that cloud towards Lake Angelus. Yesterday we walked for about 3 hours up very steep, and we wanted to get that out of the way. Today it's about 5 or 6 hours up gradual inclines. See you there. Goodness, it's a multiple hazard area. I wonder if they put this sign up just when they saw us coming. Maybe when they just saw you coming. So we've made it up to the second basin. This used to be a ski field in here. We've come from this direction. I think this is Ed Hillary coming up the hill now behind us. So we've come from this direction, get up the ridge, along that ridge, and past those mountains. And there you see my faithful companion. This is the ski field. You can see they've still got their old buildings. In my opinion, they should convert them into dock accommodation. So we've made it up past the first basin. There's 5 of these big basins up here, like this one over here. And luckily we haven't had to use oxygen yet. The extreme altitude, it's probably just as well because we haven't got the oxygen. And continue up the ridge, up there, and it just gets higher and higher. So you can see the ridge in the distance that we walked along up to that point in the middle, and then down and along, continue along the ridge, up and down and around here. And now we're on a saddle. No, it's not a horse. And this is called Julius Summit. You can find it on a map, and it's 1,794 meters. So that's about how high we are. It's just up there. And the track gets a little bit more difficult as we continue around the side. You can see the track following around there. And then the most difficult part, you see it crosses a little ridge, another saddle across there. And the most difficult part is just on the other side there. And then we continue along the ridge further until we get to Angelus Hut. So we're about halfway. See you there. So a little further on, and we negotiated that little bit. And there's Lenny. Hello. And here's, I don't know, the third, the fourth basin that we have to cross. And you can see the track continues up that ridge, getting closer and closer. And these are the peaks that we saw when we were in the valley the other day hiking. We looked up and said, oh, those peaks way up there. Oh, now we're up there with them. Just go down and wash my hands. Lunch. A little bit further on, walking up the ridge, and the ridge gets a bit rougher ahead, and it goes to that high point up there. We have to be very careful up there because I can remember last time I was here I bumped my head on the sky and it left a nasty bruise, so we have to keep our heads down. But it's a little bit rugged, but we'll get there. Out this side, you look through, that's the way to Nelson, and if you look down in that clearing you can see Speargrass Hut. That's a hut I stayed in a long time ago. Oops, I got the wrong one. Down here, see the hut, and I was snoring so much one guy picked up his mattress, walked outside and slept outside. So here's Lenny the mountain goat. He's heading up the hill. Don't wave, you fall off. I sent her first because she's just slightly shorter, and we'll see if she bumps her head on the sky, because that's the highest point up there. Did you make it? Are you at the top? Okay, now throw a rope down for me. This is Lenny walking up the track. Up to the top of the world. Fancy meeting a nice person like you. Describe the track. Tell us about it.
The track is rocky and some are tricky, but it's fine. And it was fun.
What about the view?
The view is fabulous, spectacular.
Stop breathing like that. You're using all the oxygen. There's not much here. They just get better the higher we go. And now we walk along that craggy ridge there. So that is the track we just came along. It's a little bit tricky. If you lose your footing, you down there somewhere. Some French girls went back. You can see at the top of the ridge at the back, they turned back because they were a bit afraid, but I don't know what they're going to do. It's a long way back. And we just came over that little knob, and down here is the fifth of the basins that we have to pass. Track leading on, and you can see some people on a saddle in the far distance, and just over that saddle is Angelus Hut. I was wrong, darling. We were only at basin number 4. Here basin number 5. You still have to go. Well, after about 6 hours walking 15 kilometers along that sort of countryside, we believe we are lost. So we'll just have a look around. Beautiful landscapes high up here in the peaks. Oh, hang on. What's this? Maybe we're not lost. So this is Lake Angelus. And there's the Angelus hut. And that is where we will be spending the night. If there's any beds left. And here is the person who carried me all the way. You okay? Feel okay?
Yes.
Want coffee?
Shortly.
Okay, we better go down and put the boiler on. Well, we made it to Lake Angelus hut. Time for a coffee.
Yes.
Well, we made it up to Sunset Saddle. Down there is Hopeless Hut, down that way, a track down that valley. That's Mount Hopeless there. And we come around above the snow line, well, what snow's left. And there is Lenny. And you can see where we came from. You can see the tarn down below. We had to walk down a long way before we started coming up, and you can see Lake Angelus, Angelus Hut, and the ridge we came along in the distance. And way in the far distance you can see Golden Bay. That's where Nelson is. And we came here because we want to observe blue whales, seals and penguins, of which we've heard they are abundant in this area. And here is Angelus Peak. We're going to see if there's a safe way up there. If not, well, it's been a good day's walk anyway. So here we are. We've attempted to climb Angelus Peak. We've got within about 5 meters of the top. We're going to head back down, but what a beautiful view. Over there you can see Lake Angelus. You can see all the way to Nelson. You can see Lake Rotorua that we went up the other day. Absolutely beautiful. So now we head back down.
Yeah, today we walk up to the Mount Angelus Peak, and yeah, and the views are very incredible. It's amazing.
And we also went to the saddle. You can see the saddle up there. That Sunset Saddle goes over to Hopeless Hut. So that was our walk for today.
Yes.
Breezy, but just keep it cool. There's Summit, and you can see Angelus Peak in the background. Over here, if we look over the edge, you can possibly still see Speargrass Hut. I don't know, it might have gone out of picture. It's gone out of picture now. So anyway, on our way back to the car park.